So this is a recap of lesson 2 for the Excel spreadsheets. So we did a school play, if you remember. The first thing I did was create a stage. So I just highlighted all the cells. Well, actually I think it's easiest if we start on designing where the seats are going to be. So I did 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 by 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's a 5 by 5 grid. And then I put in all the borders. And then I did the same here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Highlighted those, put in a grid. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Same for there. And the same for here. Okay, so that gave us the seats that we were going to be working with, and then I just created a large thing for the stage. Remember this? So we've got all those cells highlighted. We just click merge in center, and then that just turns it into one great big cell. And here we can put the stage. If you remember, once I'd done that, I wanted to get it in the middle, so it's in the middle sort of widthways but not height. So I just click on this one, which will give me the height, and I change the font size, and then I changed the colour, didn't I? So I coloured it to grey, and then with white writing. It was something along those lines. Then what I did was, we've done the seats sold, and I clicked into the next cell and I put the amount we've earned from that. Yep, so I'm just going to make that a little wider. Okay. And then, so imagine you've got all the seats sold here. I've just highlighted all of those, taken it to under where it says seats sold, and clicked on Autosum, and that's added that together for us. And then if you remember, these seats were £5 each, so I'm going to type in equals, click on the number of cells, the number of seats sold I should say, sorry, star sign for multiply, and then the seats are £5, and that's calculated that for us. As we change the number of seats sold, that amount changes for us. To get this so that all the rows were added up, what I did was I clicked back into this cell, remember this, and then when I got the black arrow, sorry, the black cross, can you see it's turned into a black cross? Okay, if I drag that down, that makes those calculations for us. So again, I click into that cell that's got the formula in it, get the black cross, drag it all the way down, and that's going to work it out for us. And I also put that into a little box like that. Now these seats on the second row, these were the cheap ones. So what I did with those was, so we just highlight them across now, so that we're going to do the Autosum, and then I multiply that by 3 because these seats were £3. So I type in equals to start off the formula, click on the number of seats sold, and then multiply that by 3. And again, if I want to copy that formula down, you can see that green box has just appeared in the bottom right hand corner. I'm going to go to that green box, the cursor becomes a black cross, and drag that all the way down. And that's added those up for us, and I'm going to do the same for the amount of money I'm going to earn. Drag that down, and that's calculated that for us. What I also did Just turn these into currency. Yep. And put these in a box. Then I had programs sold, do you remember? Just made that box a bit wider. So I sold 6 of those, and they were going to be £1.50. I'm going to do equals number sold and multiply that by £1.50, and then I'm going to add the total. So I've got total. So I'm just going to highlight all of those and then just do the Autosum, and that's added the total together for us. So that's what our spreadsheet looked like. We coloured it in as well, but you don't need to do that for this instance. Now what I also did was I made sure that these seats, all these seats, I gave them a colour. You don't have to, but just gave them a colour so it stands out a bit more. And then I've selected each block of seats. So I've selected that block, and then I'm going to do to the conditional formatting. So I've gone to conditional formatting, highlight cell rules, and if it's equal to 1, because only one person can sit in a seat, then we're going to colour it in. And then that way at a glance you can see which seats have been sold. So I'm going to highlight them all, conditional formatting, highlight cell rules, equals to 1, click OK. Highlight all the cells, conditional formatting, highlight cell rules, equal to 1, click OK. Then highlight all the cells, conditional formatting, highlight cell rules, equals to 1, and click OK. We also did, but if you can't get this to work, don't worry about it, this was just an extra bit. We also did the data validation. So I've highlighted all of these cells, and I've gone to data and data validation. And what I've said is I want a whole number between 1 and 1. And then I've just clicked OK. So now if I try to enter a 2, it won't let me do it. Okay, so any other number won't work. Only if you type in a 1 is it going to work. And you have to do that for all of these boxes. So we've highlighted all those cells, data validation, whole number, 1 and 1. Data validation, whole number, 1 and 1. And again with this. The final one, data validation, whole number, between 1 and 1. And now we can't have 2 people sitting in the same seat, or we can't have minus 1 person sitting in a seat. Now I've kind of got that working, okay. I mean we did do some colouring in, but I'm happy with that. I click on this arrow here, just in this top left hand corner, and I go to the home tab and I click copy. Yep, so now that whole thing's been copied. And down here I'm going to call this Monday, press enter, click on the plus sign and double click, and I can type in Tuesday, double click, I can type in the days of the week. And finally on Friday. Now for each one of these tabs, if I click on Tuesday, If you're not finding it working, then perhaps do it this way. Click on back on the arrow and then just paste. And the same for Wednesday. Click on the arrow and click paste. Thursday, click on that arrow and paste. And finally Friday and paste. So let's change some of the figures on different spreadsheets so that they're all coming up with different amounts. Okay, so hopefully now, so we've got £100, 110, 105, 111, 97. Okay, so we can see they've all got different amounts. So I'm going to create a new sheet here, and I'm going to call this one total. And then, can you see, it's not where I want it to be. I want it to be at the end of Friday, so we actually grab that and drag that to the end, and there we go, we've got it back there. Okay, so then if I type Monday here, Excel is clever enough to realise what we're doing. So if I click back in the cell and click and get that black arrow, the black cross back up, as I drag it down, you can see it's saying Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So it actually knows that we want those days of the week. And to get the total from each day, I'm just going to press equals, and then I'm going to go Monday, total, press enter, equals for the Tuesday, and press enter. Wednesday, oops, sorry, I forgot to put equals, equals, click on Wednesday's total. Thursday equals, click on Thursday, click on the total, and then Friday, press equals, go to Friday, click on the total and press enter, and that's all our figures added up. And I can just highlight all of those and click on Autosum, and also put those in a little box. You can see that it's not put them as currency, so we need to highlight them and change them to currency. So I'm not sure whether it's in currency there. Yeah, no, they're all in currency. Okay, so we've got those all as currency now, and if we wanted that as a chart, just highlight the Monday and then highlight the final amount on the Friday. So we've just selected all of the cells, and then we're going to insert a column or bar chart. I like the 3D ones. You can choose whichever ones you like. Okay, that's our little chart. And if the figures change, okay, so Monday doesn't have a lot of money. I'll tell you what, if we clear off all the money from Monday, so we haven't sold any seats or any programs for the Monday. If we go back to the total, the chart has dynamically changed it for us. It automatically does that. Yep. And if we go to chart title here, we click in it, we can then give it a title. And there we go. So we now know what that is. If we click into this actual cell, you see it's got the 4 arrows, so we know that we're in the actual cell. We can go back to the home and we can copy that. Just click on the copy. If we open up a new Word document, we can just click on paste, and the school sales are there. Now, whilst it changes dynamically in the spreadsheet, whenever we change those figures. It will not change when we pasted it into the Word document or the PowerPoint or whatever we're going to do. So if you have made any changes, then you need to put in a whole brand new chart. And that is just a brief recap of everything that we did on today's lesson. I hope that's been useful for you.